champion pool. Interesting to see 380 carry bans come out so early in the first 4 bans, because we feel like both of these 80 carry players have a pretty similar pool. So the fact we're already losing Ashe, Varus, Ezreal, start thinking about things like Corki that both of these 80 carries like. And it's, of course, time to mention that we do have the very coveted Draven player v Draven player matchup. Just putting that in everyone's mind. It's a fearless best of 5. You might see it come online.
2 best Ravens in the LPL going up against each other in this one. Hopefully we see it at some point, but for now, just kind of the expected ban, something like a Kali taken off the board for Tangyuan. Creme, known early on in his career as an assassin player, has not really filled that role a ton for top esports. They really haven't asked him to do that all that much. Tangyuan, ironically enough, is more of the assassin player in this matchup with the way that things have broken down. So it makes sense to take that off the board. Notably though, top esports calling the bluff and LGD saying, sure, you want Orianna, you can have it. Again, this is a very classic first pick that has kind of gotten through a lot. Do you want to prioritize those lanes, or do you want to pick up the Omega pick? Personally, I just find it so hard to go away from what's the best champion in the game right now.
Oh man, it's like hearing the weather report in Los Angeles, hearing Kman talk about Orianna. It's the same spiel.
True.
But it's still a good report nonetheless. I will say the last time we had this convo, Kman, I distinctly remember it. You were very upset that this got given over, and then the Orianna lost. So I'm just keeping that in mind. Speaking on the Orianna and maybe its powerful picks, it has been known as the knock wave. It will not be a part of this game here. The Nocturne going to be picked up for Heng, and then they're going to get Tangyuan, one of the other premier mid laners still left up and around. So Ryze and Nocturne, that's a lot of map pressure already on LGD's comp.
But the biggest problem, and you're right, that's a lot of map pressure, is you've left up the Jarvan. Like, you could just make an ultra team fighting comp and force them to come into you. Who cares about, like, the ability to play the side lanes if you can basically force around any major objective? There are so many junglers that get to pair off really well with Orianna. Also worth noting, earlier on today, we got to see an Orianna come out from JDG, and they were not doing so well in the early game, and then all of a sudden, Orianna hits a couple of shockwaves, things become a lot easier. So it's actually going to be the Trundle locked in. We've actually seen this pairing a little more commonly lately because it gives Trundle a way to actually be more survivable as an engaged threat in terms of the way that he can find his way into fights. The Rumble and Orianna combo is devastating, and honestly, I just really like the start to this draft for top esports.
That's great logic, but I'm still always going to be a little bit upset that we're depriving the people of not just the Jarvan Orianna combo, but then the hot pocket as well. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing to see. But hey, I get it. Trundle priority going to come across here. Also, Tien denying another Hung jungle pick that he likes to go do. Keep that in mind for Fearless later on. This is interesting to see, though, the Ambessa. Burdol's going to slam this down. I think this is the one advantage LGD really get, is that Burdol isn't really like looking to play tanks a lot often. So to see the Trundle be locked in, he doesn't feel scared about his champion pool with that one. He slams the Ambessa to try and bring a very damage-heavy LGD top side.
It is damage heavy, and Trundle is a tank buster. That is, what he does. He's able to steal those stats, but I don't think Ambessa is easy to play into Trundle. I think Ambessa, Nocturne, these are champions that do kind of struggle a little bit to play into Trundle's whole kit. It's not just the tank busting that makes Trundle so scary, it's the pillar as well, and I think Ambessa having to full commit and really being able to slow down a lot of the attacks that are coming through, it's just kind of a disruption here. Burdol is basically banking on the fact that he can get a big lead in this matchup against the Rumble, but bot lane bans are going to be coming through. That's the only thing left up. The Zeri Yuumi off the board, the Caitlyn off the board, Lulu off the board, which maybe takes away something like Yunara, even the Lucian. Of course it has to be Corki. It's the most played AD carry for both of these two. Nami is also still available, and it really is one of the few strong pairings that is left up, and it might just be something like the Misfortune Nautilus that is the answer.
Misfortune Not, or I know you might wait with bated breath when I say this, Misfortune Rel was also a pretty big wombo combo. Regardless, I want to see Fengyue go for something that's very engage-oriented, because that's the downside you get with the Trundle and a Rumble in the top side. You need a fight starter, even if you like the Orianna to be able to create more with the Trundle. Yeah, you need something that's consistent, the first point of attack here for this top esports team fight, because now this Nautilus locked in, it is clear. Top esports are leaning to try and dominate the 5v5s with this composition.
I mean, it's a good comp to do it with. It certainly is a little bit scary. We get a hover here. I'm not gonna, say anything until we get an actual lock-in, because I think that there are plenty of different ways you can go. If this isn't Nami, I'm gonna be very surprised. It's gonna be the Rel. We were just talking about this. I am not the biggest fan of Rel in this meta. I think it's really difficult with her lack of survivability to be able to do the things that she really likes to do. And specifically, what I think this does against Misfortune Nautilus is take away a lot of Corki's lane pressure, which can be a little bit scary. Now, obviously, obviously Nocturne Rise is a massive threat in the mid game, and if you can get Corki unlocked, you have plenty of different ways to play side lanes and to be able to open up the map with picks. You cannot let this game get out of control. You're looking at multiple lanes that are going to be affected by Trundle. Rumble Orianna is going to be a nightmare to deal with in team fights. LGD have to be super proactive with their mid-jungle duo, which is exactly what did get them over the line against Weibo. If they can do that again, they can get some leads here, but TES feeling pretty comfortable, I think, with their comp as well.
And, you know, this is a very fun topic to bring up with this game state, because with first selection, a lot of people try to have the convo of, you know, hey, certain champions we feel like benefit and certain styles benefit from picking certain sides of the map. And I'm starting to see why top esports may have liked blue side. I actually think setup for Drakes is really in top esports' favor. Now that they can go a bullet time over the wall, a rumble ult from over the wall that's on their side of the map, being able to pull those champions away from a rel engage, I think is super valuable here. And the people that are left up, I think really are fine getting caught by that Magnet Storm with this rel, right? You're pulling a Trundle in, you're pulling a Nollis in. They want to be in melee range with a tanky character left up on your team. So I'm really interested to see how top esports approach trying to play for that soul early with this blue side selection. It's one of those niche moments we get to talk about what map side selection can mean. But we'll get to that as we are live for Game 1. Top esports LGD, the second series of our Split 2 playoffs, live on Summoner's Rift.
There we go. LGD fans showing up here today. I said this was a historic org, and we're getting a showcase of that with the fan support coming in. These two engaged supports doing what they do best at level 1 and just saying, all right, well, might as well hit our stuff and go back to regular laning. I'm gonna be really interested to see who is more aggressive in this laning phase, and boy, are we getting aggression.
My God, yeah, we're throwing down level 1 as much as possible. Shaoye already having to expend the barrier. A barrier and heal off the board for both these bottom lanes. We like to joke about level 1 usage of those summoners as Fengyue is going to hit another dredge line. And, well, you said it. Corki, without the Nami, loses a lot of that lane prio. And already Shaoye having to base without really even getting to farm that first wave. Classic top esports and JiaQi love domination of the bot lane.
I voted for both of these two, JiaQi Love and Fengyue as all pros, and they're showing why here. This is my biggest problem with the rel. She's maybe the single worst laning support in the game right now in terms of at least the champions we see in professional play. Really difficult to be able to consistently make this work, and if this misfortune can get a lot of priority over the bottom side of the map, that certainly makes Nocturne's job more difficult. Fengyue already making that roam up to the mid lane. There are pings coming down. They actually could be looking for something on this Rise.
Could be a punish. Nonetheless, definitely have to play respectfully towards that fog, but YCX also able to spot out Tien on his clear, but here you go, you called it out, Kman. Fengyue looking to make this gank. Tangyuan gonna have to flash the dredge line as he opted to path away from his turret. So a ton of early game value out of this Nautilus. Feels like we're back in 2025, how quickly we get those supports out of their lane.
Fengyue has won 2 lanes already with the way that he's played Nautilus, respecting the fact that Rel is here, doesn't want to overextend, but Tien's making his way up.
And he is indeed here. 2v2 being batted. Oh my God, this is classic LPL. We're throwing early levels, everyone up into the river. The pillar is going to slow down Heng. Spell shield not going to matter. Double flashes galore coming out, but it's top esports that are just way stronger and better positioned, just like that. But 2 kills picked up for TES, and they're right where they want them. Creme and JiaQi Love already on the board.
Fengyue is dominating the beginning of this series. We had questions about whether or not these young players on top esports were going to be able to step up in these big moments. This Nautilus has single-handedly won the entire early game pre-4 minutes. It's been an insane performance already, and you're absolutely right. The gold is in a perfect spot. A kill on Orianna, a kill on Misfortune. That's going to be priority onto the bottom side of the map. Even Tien getting 2 assists there is really big, and Fengyue's not even done.
Not even done indeed. He is just everywhere on the map right now. Heng, he gets that crab, but he's going to eat a dredge line. A perfect pillar placement comes out from TN, and now it's Shaoye that is here to get in on the action. TN grabs a kill as well. We saw JDG falter in a game 1, and Top Esports might have taken notes. It's the perfect start to this series.
Absolutely unreal. Tangyuan doesn't have flash.
Oh my god. Man, the value of this Nautilus is getting in the first 4 minutes was nearly unbelievable if he hits that dredge line.
Actually, just an insane performance from Fengyue. This is why I voted him second team All-Pro. I think he has been a truly elite performer for Top Esports, even in some of their bad moments, and he is showing why that that overall confidence is worth it right now in this game. A fantastic start, and honestly, when we talk about the comps for these two teams, LGD relies so much on being able to control River, on being able to set themselves up around these objectives first, because Top Esports, when they get control of an area, can't really lose it with Rumble and with Orianna and Misfortune. That's become infinitely more difficult with a 2K gold lead already on the side of TES.
Man, I mean, throw out everything we were kind of already talking about from this draft is kind of where we're at. It's just really going to slow down that mid-game power we were talking about. Is Creme's going to punish Tangyuan without flash. That's a beautiful flash shockwave at TN again. Perfect pillar placement. It's going from bad to worse for LGD. Top Esports are not messing around.
That's what you get for burning the Rise Flash at level 3. It's insane here, the amount of priority and aggression that TES are playing with. We've been waiting to see this version of them since they kind of started to go on a little bit of a colder streak towards the end of the regular season. If there were any questions about whether or not we were going to get the best of them in this first series, well, right now the answer to that seems abundantly like yes. Heng at level 5 is sitting around this crab, going to be trying to get that level 6 as quickly as possible.
Oh my god, Fengyue! He's got a magnet on the edge of his dredge line. Is it Crab Shaoye through the wave? He's got to burn the flash. The heal has to come down from YCX. Utter lane domination across the board here for Top Esports.
I mean, this has got to be one of the better support performances we've seen in the early game all year long in the LPL. He is completely winning this game for his team. Credit to everybody else as well. JiaQi following up well on a lot of these aggressive plays. TN has been in the right place at the right time. Every single call that's been made has been the correct one. Look at the level difference already between the junglers. TN is basically a full level up and now gets the crab as well.
And I mean, it's just, this is gonna really just hamper the fact that LGD, we were really hyping up going into this, not even just mid-game, right? When we get ultimates online, the map pressure they'd be able to have to try and get that gold advantage to bring into the mid-game. It's just so stymied, right? Heng just now is able to tick over towards level 6. Tangyuan has a significant item disadvantage when it comes to, you look at Creme's inventory. It's just really going to hamper what we felt like was one of the stronger points for this LGD composition looking forward. And then we think about, how does Top Esports look their most deadly, right? This split so far, Kman. You outlined it well. If you see Top Esports up 2+ K gold out of the early game, they usually win those games. That's exactly where we're already at 7 minutes.
I mean, this is classic Top Esports, and the thing that scares me the most, I already talked about this Trundle being very scary in draft because champions like Mbessa and Nocturne, they just have a really hard time being able to deal with both the pillar and just the general, like, attack speed and slows that come out from Trundle and the ability to intercept a lot of that just free roaming space in these team fights. Well, now it's TN on Trundle. TN is the greediest jungler in the history of League of Legends, and I mean that very positively for him. There's not a single objective that he's not going to be at to try and contest. There's not going to be any trading on the map. That is the signature style for Top Esports, and it makes it even more concerning for LGD. They have to pull some gold back in a side lane soon, because I just think in these long, drawn-out skirmishes, it's just going to be difficult for them to be able to find any advantages.
Feels that way. What a start for Top Esports. It's been a bit of time since we've seen them play some League of Legends, and you know, we were debating a bit about how to feel about placing some of these players on the All-Pro list for how slow the end of Split 2 felt like for TES. All of that kind of has gone out the window at this point. As we focus back into this Game 1, the map is the oyster for TN. He can do whatever he wants here, right? We have, with all the action we had in that early game, Kman, we've got first Drake still up and waiting. We've got those grubs available on the top side, and you know Top Esports have lane priority everywhere. So Tien looking to push that advantage through those neutrals. Love to see that right on time he is going after this first dragon of the game. It's kind of what we talked about with that blue side advantage, right? Something I wanted to see them go for with the power of Misfortune ult over this wall, a Rumble Orianna ult coming from that fog on their side of the map. Good to see them prioritizing the scaling threat of these dragons as Tien picks up the first strike here for TES.
Yeah, it is going to be a trade, which is something Top Esports is typically not super interested in doing. Trading objectives, not really their thing, but because of all that aggression in the early game, it stalls out enough for both objectives to be on the map at the same time. LGD are going to be happy, I think, to pick up these grubs. I think they actually benefit a ton from being able to grab these grubs. Their comp is really good inside lanes at being able to play around the map with that Realm Warp for the Rise. Even the Mbessa is going to be a big problem. If you can start to pull apart Top Esports, that could be a way back in. You just have to make sure that you're careful. Vision control is more important now than it will be at almost any other point in the entire game. You cannot make another big mistake and allow this lead to grow until you get your power spikes.
Going to be a long time before those power spikes really begin to come around. Maybe not for some of these Top Esports members, right? You already see the BF sword in the inventory of JiaQi Love, likely to sprint towards that BT position. Creme as well, already on pace for a pretty powerful first mage item. And even Zweon going to get a pretty clean reset here. You saw him use the equalizer to take down that wave. So all cylinders firing here for Top Esports. And I feel like what's most daunting, Kman, again, when we go back to how we thought about these drafts when the champions were selected, Top Esports are just going to be such a problem when it comes to straight up 5v5s at this point. Maybe we didn't think it'd be this early on, so the fact that they're this strong now means any sort of, I feel like there's going to be a lot of neutral objectives that LGD are going to have to kind of wait on the wayside for, and maybe for Top Esports, it's going to be a good test for guys like Creme, Zweon, on how disciplined they could be on the side lanes. Because I think getting caught on the sides is the one way LGD can really try and get some gold back in this game state.
You're absolutely right. I mean, that's the only way that LGD are going to be able to win this is if they properly play those side lanes. Now, again, luckily for them, their solo laners have been their strength for a very long time, but it's plays like this that they need to try to make. Unfortunately, Tien might be in the area to dissuade and engage.
Okay, Heng is going to be spotted in the tribe rush. So Tien knows this. I love this patience. He's kind of daring Heng to go for this dive. Anywhere Heng decides to path is just lit up with a blue ward, even though he is invading that enemy jungle. Thwarted as we still are waiting for that first paranoia to come out from this Nocturne. Again, it's going to be the only thing we really feel like can get this game somewhat back in LGD's favor. But right now, a Blast Cone into a Depth Charge Dredge Line combo means JiaQi Love throws down a full bullet time course. And Burdol is going to have to expend that flash, just trying to get to a wave under his own turret. That's how rough things are for LGD right now, Kman.
I mean, we're talking about side lane pressure is...
Oh,
YC's not going to be able to get the back. That could have been really bad.
That was
close. Yeah, that was very close. If he's able to get that off, that does change a couple of things. One of the things, I brought up is we've been talking about that side lane pressure in favor of LGD's comp, and we're right about that. JiaQi Love has so many plates right now. He's been able to get so much gold just by farming for free in the bot lane, now on the top side. This guy's super accelerated. He himself is 1.5k gold up. He's been utterly dominant, and let's be honest, JiaQi Love with a playoff lead, that is something that I think Top Esports are going to feel pretty comfortable to have.
I know you guys, a lot of you at home were unfortunately deprived of JiaQi Love playoffs in Split 1, but that's why we decided to set up and, maybe take a look at what his stats look like when it comes to his most recent playoff run. So for JiaQi Love, I believe we have a little something special to talk about. Hold on, oh God, did we cast the curse him?
Oh,
YCX
no.
Flash Magnet Storm to pull him right back under turret. The heal from Fengyue is not even going to save him. And just as we're talking about JiaQi Love in the playoffs, he gives over a critical kill to LGD, a shutdown to Shaoye.
Well, sometimes it's just how it goes, Slayer. Sometimes you put it out into the ether a little too much. I should have known that when I said him, his name multiple times in one sentence, that would have just been too much pressure on the other side. It is a critical kill.
It's like Bloody Mary on the mirror, right?
Yeah.
You can't say it 3 times. You can't say a guy's name 3 times in 5 seconds on a cast, or he does something like this. Oh, I didn't even see that. Thank you to our observers.
Yes.
Fengyue fail flashed over the wall and dredge line into a wall. That definitely didn't help either.
Certainly not an ideal way to play that. Fengyue's allowed maybe one gigantic misplay after how many plays he made in the early game. We do get those JiaQi playoff stats now, which should give you some confidence that even if he is going to run it down randomly in one fight, around 10 minutes, he's going to be just fine. I mean, I know we don't have quite the context for these numbers. Let me tell you, they're pretty darn good. There aren't a lot of AD carries that are putting up these numbers at any point throughout their career, let alone in some of the biggest moments. JiaQi, one of the most clutch players in LPL history, certainly one of the most accomplished. Still in a pretty good spot, about 600 gold up, just a little bit more over to Shaoye than maybe he wanted.
Just a bit, yeah. Helps him, complete that Triforce. At least be able to be on tote with one-to-one items as Fengyue hits another dredge line, and there's the shockwave with the Trundle combo you were talking about. YCX down on a simple warding mission, and that means that TES get another quick dragon towards their cause. They're going to get onto that close to soul point here. Easy.
Yeah, and they're not even done. Tangyuan on the bot lane here.
Yeah, the dredge line's being held. He's trying to get close enough to get the root first. The root prison is going to buy Tangyuan enough space to get back out. TP going to come down. This is Burdol all the way from the top side. Lights go out. Realm warp down. LGD throwing everything but the kitchen sink to find this kill onto Fengyue. There's the first paranoia, and there's another kill uncontested back towards LGD.
Really, really nice punish there from LGD. They have not lost their spark just because they've lost in the early game. They need to be able to continue to make these plays to pull it back, and they're looking for more on TN here, but I don't think they have the resources.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Triforce done. He's popping the Subjugate. He is walking YCX down. Public Execution is going to land as the Fear is parried there with the knockdown, but the TP back from Swayon does get the Equalizer down. The burn is enough. It's a solo lead for top esports doing the heavy lifting right now. Burdol may have gotten a nice Ambessa ult, but he's going to follow his jungle and support back to the gray screen. This time it's top esports with the nice TP play to cover.
That certainly does not make the play as good as maybe it was originally. Tangyuan is also in big danger here.
Oh, there's the slow coming across. The overheat and a flash for flash, and Swayon gets the solo bull on a Tangyuan. YCX cannot cover for his mid laner. Swayon showing why he was on the all-pro ballot list.
Yeah, maybe we got it wrong on the broadcast. This guy looks pretty darn good on the Rumble, huh? Yeah, he's just absolutely destroying people. We get a replay of this entire exchange. This is already insane. First off, he's getting the tower for free on the top side, so that's a ton of gold already invested in him. YCX, for some reason, feels like he can just zone out TN. TN's like, fine, yeah, I'll take you down. If I have to trade my life and get that Rumble TP onto the backside, that is more than fine for this play. Look at Creme, by the way. He has basically no mana, and yet he's maximizing his damage on this Orianna. It can be a little bit difficult to do in some of these exchanges. Tangyuan has not hit any sort of power spike on the Rise yet, so the moment the Rumble arrives, it's free real estate, we'll just say, and then, the Rise definitely overstaying his welcome, giving another kill over. It's a 4K gold lead for top esports, and so much of that is now on the solo laners, almost a 2K gold lead for Creme on the strongest champ in the game.
Coming into this split, Kman, I know there was obviously a lot of hype to see JiaQi return, reinstall some championship aspirations top esports, but some people, including myself, were worried if this team was going to have enough with the departure, not having 369 here. But the way Swayon has been able to play so far, just in this game and the split alongside it, seeing the rest of top esports pick up right where they left off from last year, where they were in the grand finals of Split 3, this is a really good sign for all those top esports fans who really feel like this team can be back to trying to contend for LPL titles. And so far, while it's a very small sample size, they are eating good.
They are more than eating good. I think they're feeling pretty darn good, especially considering we just saw a Nirvana team take a game 1 off of a Group Ascend team in our first series, even if that ended up going in favor of JDG. Top Esports not wanting any sort of smoke in this one. As much as I do want to give them a lot of credit, and I will, I mean, TN's always going to be, running in there and making these greedy plays to trade gold. I mean, you gave Rumble and Orianna to the best team in the league, or one of the best teams in the league. It's really difficult to kind of play from this spot. And certainly top esports are taking full advantage of the strength of their champions. And now when they get the chance to set up around these rivers, it becomes even harder.
And speaking of those river setups, we're about a minute 30, creeping on a minute until Infernal Soul Point. Hey guys, if you're ever curious what Dragon Soul really helps snowballing teams, It's Infernal Soul. So that soul point will be available in, at the 19.5-minute mark here for Top Esports. They're just going to try and dust off the last Tier 1 turret to get even more pressure on the map, even more power in those vision lines that lead towards the setups. And of course, right after that Infernal Soul Drake Soul Point Drake that I don't even know if it will be contested by LGD, Top Esports can set their sights upriver towards Baron Nashor, which will also hit the Rift at this time. And while that does seem like a pretty headstrong plan, folks, Top Esports are up 4.5k gold before we crested 20 minutes. They can go for whatever they want right now.
Whatever fight they take, they're going to win, so long as they have the numbers advantage. And again, this is just, I don't mean to harp on draft too much, but really don't understand the Mbessa pick here, and I think it really ends up hurting you. I mean, you pick this as a counter to Rumble in lane. You're down about 1,500 gold because of the turrets and the free double kill onto the top side. Now you're in a spot where Mbessa's going to have a hard time fighting into Trundle. You have to make a play work onto someone like Creme, but the wave clear of Orianna is so immense and consistent. Not only does that champion have a ridiculous amount of team fight power, she's incredibly safe in a side lane and almost impossible to punish. There's nothing to go for on the map right now other than this top lane tier 1, while more objectives just get taken for free by TES and they put themselves on Soul Point.
It was something we were a bit worried about, right? That the way LGD could overload size no matter how much gold they're down. Our Soul lanes had to show some serious respect. So you're seeing Creme now all the way back towards his base because he doesn't even want to give a morsel of hope that he's going to give over this shutdown, and knows that his team is making the winning trade on the other side. Infernal Soul Point has been reached before the 20-minute mark, and now they're stealing away all of Heng's bot side camps here. So yeah, you give away a tier 1 turret, but this is some real discipline we're seeing from TES, and respect being shown towards LGD in this matchup already, despite the fact that they can play as greedy as they really want to, we feel like, with the lead they have accrued. So that's a nice sign to see that Top Esports are saying, hey, listen, we don't think we can just run over LGD at every corner.
I mean, why take the risk, right? Like, Top Esports will never lose a 5v5 at this point, but speaking of risk, JiaQi loves stepping up. Look at everybody around him, though. There's just no way that you can punish these immobile AD carry. This immobile AD carry right now with just the way that things are set up. Fengyue is constantly around him, and that allows JiaQi to walk up to the Nocturne and just auto him down as they continue to push into the enemy's jungle.
Breaking news, water is wet, and JiaQi Love with the lead is playing aggressive, face-checking. Yep, nothing is new here for JKL in this one. Playing up on those mid waves, and I love to see Top Esports. They're just so fluid in their movements. Boom. We got all we want on the bot side. Time to make some super advanced wards set up on the top side. You can see Fengyue clearing out all of that advancing vision because they don't want to give LGD a scrap of a look towards this Baron pit. They want to keep them second-guessing that they can walk up to Krugs. They can play up on mid or top waves. This is clinical right now from Top Esports. A clinical start to their playoff run.
I mean, this team looks so good from a lead, like from an advantage. This team just is so devastating to try and play into, and we continue to see them push that and push their advantage more and more. Again, side lanes should eventually start to come online a little more for LGD. The problem is a lot of their map has already been broken open, which means that they're naturally just not going to have a lot of the push throughout a lot of this game. The thing TES recognizes so well right now is that if they can force them into a choke point, there's just no way for LGD to play. They need to find these picks. They need to play these side lanes. TES's discipline is not only, foregoing any negative plays, but it's also basically forcing LGD into the exact spots that TES want them in. If they start up on the Baron right around now, I really don't know how easy it will be for even a team like LGD to fight back.
And with the power that, a Trundle combined with a Misfortune and either one of the solo lanes, like that 3-man playing towards a Baron, that thing goes down pretty fast. We're not dealing with any slow Baron takes as well for Top Esports to add some extra sprinkles on the cupcake that has been this game one. So they could definitely thread to just try and take it down. Or if they find this clutch kill into Heng, that'll definitely shut down TN. Just another precision pillar. Fengyue's going to flash to get the root. Heng going to flash towards the blast cone and does get himself out of dodge. But with Heng forced completely out of his topside jungle, I wonder if greedy TN wants a crack at the purple worm.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, what, you want to force a fight in a choke point for a major objective and you're TN and you're up a bunch of gold? Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me right now. You can also start to take a look at the inventories of a lot of the carries on Top Esports. Not only do you have second items coming through for everyone at this point, including the Rumble, which is massive, that Verdant Barrier has been completed by Creme as well. So he's going to be so difficult to even deal with in these fights. He's giving shields to everyone else. He has free lockdown. JiaQi Love has great setup now for his ultimate with the Nautilus, with the Orianna. I mean, this is just so dangerous. The only way back in here for LGD is to hope that Top Esports continue to play a little slower than maybe they need to, because forcing fights around now could be immediately game-ending for LGD.
And for now, despite, you know, there being some power clearly with the gold for Top Esports and the soul stacking, item-wise, right, everybody is virtually on 2 items. So the fighting power is coming down to a lot of components and the strength of the team fight for Top Esports. It's not like they're completely a fish out of water competing against 1 item gaps. So this could be a spot like you talk about where they've been able to catch up a decent amount in that regard. But TES are starting to get hungry. Zweon is going to get caught here. Y6 in the bush camp. There's the paranoia down. Zweon's going to flash, but there's public execution set up well by the fear. How quickly can he get rid of this rumble?
Still alive.
Zweon is not dropping. He will not fall. And the cavalry has arrived. TES cracked down on the bot side play. And it's going to be a complete mercy kill coming down from Top Esports. Couple swings of the club gets rid of one. Burdol drops to JiaQi. It's all Top Esports. 4 for nothing. And now Baron is a certainty.
You want to focus the rookie? No, the rookie is focusing you in these fights. 4v1 is not enough to take down the Rumble. And now Top Esports, if you thought they had control over the map before, they have full control over it now. They're going to be able to really push onto this bot side, and it's all because of Zweon. We get a replay of exactly what happened here. Burdol takes the brunt of the equalizer, but generally it's not exactly the most dominant ult. He just buys enough time for Top Esports to make their way down. And honestly, I don't want to continue my agenda, but man, Orianna shields on top of that Rumble to keep him alive throughout a majority of that fight. It's just absurd. This comp is incredibly dangerous when they come together. LGD were trying their absolute best to force a situation where, you know, Top Esports didn't get that 5v5. They show up, the cavalry arrives, and there's no way you're beating them when they are playing together like this.
Oh, man. JiaQi loves living the life. You know a game's going good as an AD carry when you just get to walk into the late stage of a team fight and one auto, get a kill. That's when you know your team's got you as well. And here we go with Top Esports. Fresh off their big team fight win, they're on towards the Baron. And LGD have to make the treacherous walk into the scary fog to maybe try and stop this. But Heng is onto his Krugs. Y6 can't even get past Creme. And the Baron is down. Top Esports got the purple banner on to 5. And now the assault onto LGD's base is going to happen shortly. And it's also an Infernal Soul locked up here as well for Top Esports. They're getting everything kit and caboodle. Light's going to go out here as the Equalizer comes down onto Heng and Burdol. And the Flame Spinner's just going to burn through and incinerate the Ambessa. Down goes YCX's Rel. Tangyuan thought he could run warped out to safety, but all he finds is 2 damn big pistols from JiaQi to send him packing towards the fountain. TES are unrelenting, and they may just look for a dominating Game 1 win right now.
They have everything. They have Inferno Soul. They have Baron. There's no reason they can't continue to push. Shaoye and Heng are trying their best to survive on the top side of the map, but it might not be enough. TES came out for blood, and they've certainly found it here in Game 1.
Shockwave back up. Bullet time available for JiaQi. The only thing stopping them from the Game 1 win in their hands immediately is that short wave, but here comes the next one. Top Esports are not looking to mess around. They are on to the Nexus turrets, and Shaoye nearly drops himself to a double tap from JiaQi. The Baron minions doing all the heavy lifting, but LGD have respawned. They're getting their timers back up. 5 strong. Tangyuan is going to come out of the base. Top Esports, they're a little bit indecisive if they want to go after this last Nexus turret. Respecting LGD a bit as the fear will land on Tien, but he's taking what feels like negative damage 3 levels up onto Heng. Burdol looking for a flank angle. The Equalizer does finally come down. There's a big Magnet Storm. Burdol in with the public execution, but there's just not enough damage. It's a straight wallet diff here for Top Esports. No engage will work. No hope left for LGD. What a start for Top Esports. One of the most one-sided wins of the postseason so far. TES up 1-0.
Wow. I mean, like, wow. That is such an amazing first game for Top Esports. There's honestly not even a ton that I can take away from it. They get one of the most dominant team fight comps that you can draft. They feel so comfortable. Their early game completely destroys any hope that LGD have of being able to play around their level 6 power spikes. And from there, we get to see vintage Top Esports aggression. I mean, this is as classic of a Top Esports performance as you can get. And for all the fans out there that were maybe getting concerned with the way that this team was performing down the stretch of the regular season, maybe there's a bit of a weight that's taken off your shoulders after this one.
Yeah, if I'm hearing the guy that records a multitude of hours worth of podcast episodes say, I have no words, that says a million words, Kman, to how one-sided that game was. Wow, what a start for Top Esports. It's hard not to get, infected by the glory that was these former Nirvana teams getting into these playoff matchups, especially, again, after what we saw Thunder Talk do to JiaQi Gaming in Game 1. But, yeah, this was maybe a drop back down to reality a bit when it comes to top 4 of the LPL going up against top 4 of Group Nirvana.
I don't want to, downplay what LGD was able to accomplish. Weibo is a really good team, and Weibo, I believe, beat Top Esports in the regular season. Like, we're not sitting here saying that those two teams were, guaranteed to be on completely separate wavelengths. This is how this should go. This is the expected result, right? Like, anything other than this would have been more of a surprise. We were hyping up LGD because it's perfectly reasonable to expect them to put up a good fight. TES are not taking this lightly. Like, they are not looking at LGD as a Group Nirvana team. They are coming out swinging just as they would against the best teams in the league, and it is very, very clear. Slayer, I gotta stand on my soapbox. What a game from Fengyue. I mean, oh my goodness, that Nautilus was disgustingly good, and for me, I think it's going to be a pretty easy choice who player of the game was.
Yeah, we don't even have that conversation. What I want to do here, I know we just ran it, not even an hour ago, but Ice Fire at it, if we could put up the Tier 1 experience graphic again, just for a second to really highlight what Fengyue having that big of a moment in this playoff game means, right? Listen, it's very funny, by the way, that he's the smallest guy in this graphic for Top Esports, because he's by far the biggest dude in the LPL. But all the way there on the other corner, that guy just put in his 74th Tier 1 game. I believe, maybe his 6th, 7th, 8th game in the playoffs for Top Esports. And he was the MVP. Yeah, that was one of the greatest Nautilus games I've seen all split long, man.
Pre 5 minutes, that might be the best support performance we've seen in the LPL. I mean, genuinely, he won the game. Solo, pre 5 minutes. He wins the bot lane 2v2 with an aggressive engage. He goes mid and burns Rise Flash at level 3. He skirmishes with his jungler to get a free double kill to start the game. And then he goes up and secures Top Crab with his jungler to get another kill as well. Before 6 minutes, he had secured 3 kills for his team, both Crabs. He had gotten Flash mid. He had gotten every summoner bot. I mean, how much more can you possibly do as a support in a game? It's actually just one of the most insane performances that we've seen. Credit to the rest of this team. They were excellent throughout the back end, but this game was free. I mean, this support performance was genuinely incredible.
And, when talking about how support meta has really changed, it's been a breath of fresh air to see the Enchanter 2v2 bottom lanes come out here. I know we all got very bored of the cycle of Rel, Nautilus, Alistair, Leona going around, but This game and what Fengyue was able to do this early game really reminded me how much I missed supports just putting it all on the table and saying, I'm the engage, I make the plays, right? Fengyue could not have done this on Karma. He couldn't have done this on Lulu. Maybe could have done it on Bard. But you do this when you play the Nautilus. And you can see the reaction, Top Esports fans. They're smiling 5 minutes into their first playoff game of Split 2.
And if you want to be a little bit more, aggressive towards maybe why this was allowed to happen, this is the problem with drafting Rel as an answer to Nautilus, which is something that we're seeing rise a lot in popularity throughout a lot of the world. Rel can match a lot of those roams from Nautilus in isolation, but the problem is that Nautilus has so much more lane pressure with something like a Misfortune that he's going to have first priority on a lot of those roams, and you don't really have the ability to match and, go out there and make the same kind of efficient plays before level 6. I really do think that LGD just put themselves in a really tough spot in the draft phase. They gave over so many power picks and basically sacrificed tempo in every single lane in order to try and get this mid-jungle duo out on the map. Fengyue said, what mid-jungle duo? I mean, you don't exist in this game. I'm the one who gets to press the paranoia because all you're going to be thinking about is me roaming.
We talked a lot about how we've seen, the big question with bottom lane early on this split was, how do we answer Ashe Seraphine? How do we answer Corki Nami lanes? And Lucian Melio was the consistent one, but I know we didn't get the Misfortune Nautilus into one of those premier bottom lanes, Kman, but I saw it in different regions. I saw the NACL players really talk about how they felt like Misfortune Nautilus was the answer to the premier Ashe Seraphine. Starting to see why it feels like it's just a strong lane in general from what JiaQi Love and mostly like we talked about Fengyue was able to do with this matchup. I hope to see this combo come across a lot more as we evolve into the playoffs, even if we are on that same patch that we saw towards the end of the regular split.
I think it certainly helps that you banned out so many other bot lanes, right? Like, there's so many things that were taken off the board. You had no Yunara Lulu for comfort. Nami was left up, but Ashe Seraphine was off the board. Even something like a Zeri Yumi that I think could give it a little trouble was off the board as well. Yeah, the Varus, yeah, very much was off the board here. So a lot of the things that give it trouble were gone. It was just a really good game plan from Top Esports. I'm sure they felt very happy that Orianna Rumble was left up for them on blue side. But even more than that, I think they just had a great idea. I'm sorry. Like, Tien was excellent in this game, but how can this not be Fengyue? This was an unbelievable performance.
Boo. Listen, stats go burr. Gold difference, all this goes crazy. It does not happen if Fengyue does not gift on a silver platter the greatest early game Tien could ever get here. The streets here at LPL English will remember that Fengyue deserves this player of the game, even if it does go over to Tien. Regardless, this award, it does not matter too much to these players. Most importantly, all right, let's see. All right, okay, you know what? I will at least be a little bit happy that we got some votes for the guy, all right? Our observers and casters recognized that Fengyue deserved this award, Kman. We can take that as like a little piece of solace, I'd say.
It certainly is a bit of solace. I think we got a couple of votes for Creme there on the Orianna. Another thing that we didn't really point out, no votes for Zweon, by the way, which I find a little surprising. But I will say, oh my goodness, don't let Orianna through. I mean, even if you want one fight to showcase why that was a problem, it's not even one where he got to do a lot of damage. When Zweon gets collapsed upon by 4 people, you throw the Orianna ball onto the Rumble, he's unkillable. Like, completely unkillable. And you get the shockwave and damage in the side lane. I mean, really, this was just a masterclass from Top Esports. They won everywhere.
The cleanest single game of the very brief start to the playoffs we've had so far in Split 2 belongs to Top Esports. 1-0 lead here in their opening start to postseason play. Pressure continues to mount now on LGD. How can they find a response here? Well, to start, they'll have whatever they like selection-wise going into that Game 2 draft. Blue side, red side, first pick, counter pick. That's where they need to start to try and make this series an even 1-1 to make the series morph into a fearless best of 3. We'll find out what their plan is and more on the other side of this break. We'll see you guys.